Yes.
All right, everyone, it's 7 o'clock. Today is Monday, March the 4th, 2019. It is, I'd like to call the Spring Hope Board of Commissioners meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask everyone, please take off your hats. Please stand if you can. Turn the flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, do we have anybody on the public?
No.
The next item on my agenda is the minutes from the board meeting on February the 4th. Everyone's had a chance to read over them. Do we have any changes that need to be made? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve them as written.
Make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. There's no more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. Next item on my agenda is to consider action to reappoint Commissioner Lucas to the Transportation Advisory Committee. Commissioner Lucas, are you willing to remain in that seat for another term?
Yes.
All right. We need type of motion for this?
Yes, we do.
Make a motion that we appoint Commissioner Lucas to the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reappoint Commissioner Lucas to the TAC. There's no more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. Next we've got a public hearing for zone text amendment regarding electronic gaming operations. I'll need a motion to go into a public hearing.
Make a motion to go to public hearing. Second.
I have a motion and a second to go into public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Jay, I'm going to let you start this.
Okay, we have the applicant here this evening, Steve Batchelor, in case you have any questions during the public hearing process. He is here this evening for ZTA 2019-02, amending or requesting the amendment of the electronic gaming operations ordinance to include light industrial. Currently, again, it's only zoned within the heavy industrial zoning districts, and you can see from the table of uses, which is section 2670, that currently there's a D listed, a black color D listed in our table for heavy industrial. Again, the red is the amended request to allow it in the light industrial zoning district. There were also some requested changes to section 26-240, and that is this page here. Again, specifically regarding electronic gaming operations. There's some changes there. For example, subsection D, changing or amending the distance between a residence and the business to 100 feet from the edge or corner of the building from one another. There is an annual fee for each machine for $100. Let's see, the subsection H is also requesting a maximum of 20 electronic gaming machines or computers at the operation. In subsection I, windows shall not be tinted, nor shall there be any interior obstructions such as curtain screens, blinds, partition signs, placed to prevent a clear and unobstructed view of the interior from the street. Persons under the age of 18 are prohibited from the premises. Lighting, no interior, exterior lighting shall be used to frame windows, doors, or along the building itself. And subsection L, use requested for an electronic gaming operation must meet all federal, state, and local codes and ordinances or forfeit permit to operate, which includes building ordinances and codes. And Nash County provides those inspections on behalf of the town. And then from a staff report, if you look at under the sections for recommendations and suggestion motions, during the February 21st, 2019 meeting, the planning board did vote unanimously to recommend the following changes. If there's any questions or any comments from the public.
Does the public have any questions this evening? Commissioners have any conversation before we close the public hearing? Anybody from the public wishes to speak? I'll accept the recommendation to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Close the public hearing. If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Public hearing is closed. Which brings us next item on the agenda to consider action on the text zoning amendment 2019 ZTA 02 regarding electronic gaming.
And when you go through the motions, underneath motion 1 and 2 that's highlighted in red, as you proceed to make a recommendation for that motion, to also read and indicate that this board does agree with what the planning board had indicated for the justifications on each of those motions.
I only had one item. That's all I thought about after the planning board. Under B, where it said no alcoholic beverages and no smoking shall be permitted. Do you want to do, I know we're trying to keep these from popping up everywhere.
Right.
Did you want to add no sale or no drinking? You said no alcoholic beverages. And I would pass that along to Steve if that's a problem for him.
Well, I'm not gonna sell alcohol. You're saying sell cigarettes?
Well, no, I mean, it says no smoking, which you pretty much can't do in any public building anymore anyway.
Right.
But if you limit even the sale of alcohol, even if it's not consumed on the property, then you also limit the amount of places this can be. It's not a side business. You don't have the convenience stores everybody else asking, but the machines in. You just have no alcohol sales on the property.
Right.
My intention was have it just sundries, which is soft drinks, nabs, maybe some canned goods, a sandwich.
And it's a common theme for a lot of gaming operations, especially with the ALE involved, that typically some of the rules or ordinances that are in place are that they're typically prohibited from the premises, including sales. But
So this already includes sales?
we can
On the state end, you're saying?
right, but we
Already
can
included in state
clarify if
law.
we want to specifically state that no alcohol, no usage or sales of alcohol beverages and smoking shall be permitted on the premises. We could amend that if both the town and the applicant are agreeable to that, if you want to specify that.
That's fine with me.
No sales.
Well, like I say, it's pretty tight state regulated anyway, so
So I'll amend that.
I got no problem with it.
Okay. And you can add that to motion 3 at the end about that last change or amendment prior to voting.
Do I have someone who would like to make a motion on this item?
I make a motion that 2019 ZTA-02 is not inconsistent with comprehensive plans that have been adopted by the town of Spring Hill.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. The ZTA 02 is not inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion one passes.
All right, I make a motion that 2019 ZTA-02 is reasonable in the public interest.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. The ZTA 02 is reasonable in the public interest. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion 3.
So I make a motion that we recommend the following amendments. The town of Spring Hill zoning ordinances amend sections 26-70 and 26-240 to also include the amendment of no sale of alcoholic beverages.
Second.
A motion and a second on amendment 3. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item I have on my agenda is the public hearing for zone text amendment CTA 03 regarding restaurants. Jay, I'm going to let you start. Blair, I need a motion for a public hearing.
Make a motion, we go into public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go into a public hearing for zone text amendment ZTA 03 regarding restaurants. No more discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We are now in public hearing. Jerry, I'll let you start this.
So for restaurants both with or without drive-through, neither one of them are included to be allowed in both LI or HI, and that is the proposed request. Currently, restaurants with the drive-through are allowed in CB and GB, central business and general business, and then restaurants without a drive-through are allowed in, well, I'm sorry, restaurants with the drive-through are allowed in GB, general business, and IC, interchange. Restaurants without a drive-through are allowed in 3 zoning districts: CB, central business, GB, general business, and IC. And again, the request is being requested because there is a possibility in the future with industries that are located in some of those industrial districts that may require an applicant, they may want to create or establish a restaurant to service the potential clients or workers there. And again, certain industries may have a intense use, but it's really up to the applicant potentially to decide whether or not they want to establish a restaurant within those zoning districts, and this is just giving them the potential option to do so. And again, this was discussed at the February 21st planning board meeting. They did vote unanimously to recommend this approval for restaurant usage.
Does anybody in the public wish to address this? Yes, ma'am.
Where is this going to be, that will be a restaurant maybe there? Where is this location?
So there are different areas in town where the LI and HR are located. We're not talking about any particular business currently right now. This is just theoretical if they want to, but some of the heavy industrial districts that are located in town are on the southern portion, across the bridge on 581, Those are certain areas of HI. There are some other HI going on 64 alternate east heading towards Bowire. For LI, it's kind of spread out in town as well too, but some of them are in close proximity as well to those HI zoning districts.
Just out near the end.
So most of them are typically, they're not centrally located in the middle of town, no.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Do you have a question?
Yeah, but they are asking for it now to be in central business.
No one's asking, this is town sponsored, so
But the town is asking for you, that motion would then allow drive-throughs in central business, general business, and IC.
no.
No.
Only restaurants allowed within the central business currently is restaurants without a drive-thru.
So that would remain the same.
Yes, everything's remaining the same. We're only asking that both restaurants with or without a drive-thru only be added to the LI and HI. That's it. Not changing anything that's currently existing that is allowed within the general business, central business, and IC.
Okay.
So, when I started at the beginning, I misquoted, so I want to be clear that again, restaurants with a drive-through are only allowed currently in the general business and IC, the interchange.
Okay.
And then restaurants without a drive-through currently are only allowed in the central business, general business, and IC. So no restaurants are allowed in our downtown and central business area with the drive-through.
So if the public has spoken, nobody else wishes to comment, I need a motion and a second to come out of public hearing.
Make a motion that we come out of public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to come out of public hearing. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are now back in open hearing. So would a commissioner like to make a motion either for or against the restaurants being added to the LI and HI districts?
So I make a motion that ZTA 03 is not inconsistent with the comprehensive plans that have been adopted by the town of Spring Hill.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. ZT03 is not inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That motion passes. I have a motion for the second one.
Make a motion that ZTA 03 is reasonable and in the public interest.
Second.
A motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. And for the third motion,
Make the motion that the zoning plan, amend sections 26-70.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve DT03. All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion passes. I need a motion and second to go into a public hearing for rezoning application RZ01.
Make a motion on the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and second to go into a public hearing. RZ01. Is there more discussion? No. All opposed? Say yes. That's new words. I'm a complete loss. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Okay, well, we have our applicant here this this evening, Steve Batchelor, in case you have any questions during the public hearing of the rezoning request. He is requesting rezoning two of his properties adjoining each other, parcel ID 005-779 and 036-718. And you should have an aerial image highlighting those two parcels. And then also a vicinity zoning map. And also a copy of the Town of Spring Hope 2020 land use plan map as well. And again, the purpose of his request in the staff report is that he does intend to rezone his property for the sole use of the electronic gaming operation. Again, we're looking at 1.06 and 0.32 deeded acres, combining those two for his request. Again, a lot of the eastern section of the town limits along alternate 64 are mostly zoned commercial. There are some industrial to the south of his property, but there are also some adjoining residential lots there as well too. But the main focus of those residential lots are that most of them, except for one, are currently or have been for the most part used as commercial. Currently there is an ABC store on one of the lots. There was a Matthews Oil located, and a former sewing source site company as well. And again, looking at the rezoning request under the plan consistency, staff report states that it is consistent with the 2020 land use plan and map. Commercial and industrial uses are recognized as areas of growth for these areas, and in close proximity to the area specifically requested for the rezoning. And again, part of the staff report also includes an analysis of impact on the immediate area and community as a whole. With part of the rezoning applications, there are typically 3 questions listed, and I've included those as well. It's from the application, but you can also, I've included in this specific paragraph. 1, how do the potential uses in the new district classification relate to the existing character of the area? Applicant responded, the properties surrounded by commercial and industrial zone parcels with few residentially zoned parcels that are out of alignment for the past history of those lots and land use map. 2, in what ways the property proposed for rezoning suited for the potential uses of the new district? The property is well suited for commercial and industrial uses with surrounding properties and uses aligned with it. 3, how will the proposed rezoning affect the values of nearby buildings? Applicant answered, majority with the exception of the residents across the street are commercial and industrial sites. These properties will not be negatively impacted by the rezoning.
So we're in the public hearing. Does anybody wish to talk on this? We all know where Bachelor's is. You know where it's been for 30 years or more.
Well, yeah,
40 years.
I'm giving no handle. I know where it's at, but where, you trying to, connect something to what you already have?
No, just trying to get it rezoned to the light industrial.
Oh.
Yeah, everything's staying right where it's at, I just want to change it from commercial to light industrial.
Oh, okay, so you could have your game.
Right, to make it
Didn't they
legal.
just give you
To make it
permission
legal.
to have the game?
Yes, but we ain't done the rezoning yet.
Well, shouldn't they have got the rezoning before you can get the gaming in there?
I mean, you could go either way, but we went with the changing the amendments first, and then it's just the ordered alignment on the agenda.
Okay.
Rezone is, I need to rezone it also.
And even if he were to rezone, he still needs to come and get a zoning permit as well too. So that's another process that he'll still have to do as well.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? The public, does there have any questions? And be my recommendation that we come out of public hearing. So would somebody like to make a motion to go back into open meeting?
Make a motion to go back into open meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to go back into open meeting. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We are back in open meeting. Which brings us to G, which is consider action on a rezoning application RZ01.
I make a motion that RZ01 is not inconsistent with comprehensive plans that have been adopted by the town of Spring Hope.
I have a motion and a second on item 1 that is not inconsistent with comprehensive plans. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion 2.
I make a motion that based on the information presented by staff and other interested parties, our 219 RZ01 does have an acceptable level of impact on both the immediate area and the community as a whole.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the second item. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion passes.
I make a motion that the town board approve the rezoning request for 2019-RZ-01.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on item 3 to approve the zoning request. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. The motion passes. Bachelor, you're done.
Thank you. I
If you and the manager do 3 more open hearings on one night, drag you both in the office and give you a talking to. Next item on my agenda is Waste Industries. Would like to address the board this evening.
I appreciate y'all.
You have to give us your last name. I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, that's.
I didn't want to destroy it.
Good evening, my name is Pat Luce. I'm with Waste Industries. I'm the government contracts manager for them. I handle Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and a slice of North Carolina. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you all tonight. I'm coming to ask probably for one of your most favorite things. I'm asking for an increase in the price of recycling. Mr. Kim was nice enough to put some literature, I think, in your packets, and what I was basically trying to do is create a little history and some background on what's going on in the recycling industry, starting back in 2017 and running through 2018 and currently. As some of you all know or may not know, the recycling industry is kind of upside down. In a lot of cases, it costs more to process recycling than it does to dispose of trash. A lot of this has to do with the ban by China to accept our single stream recycling. And the single stream is what you all currently do in the town. And it has to do with the contamination that our loads came over to China, where they basically shut down taking any of our single stream recycling. And that's caused a problem in the processing plants in the United States. It's not just a North Carolina issue, which you can see from all the different cities and municipalities in the packet, showing the different things that's going on. So what has happened is we used to make money off of recycling. And then it got to the point where we had a zero processing fee. Well, our contract with Sunoco, who processes our recycling, ended in, March 1st of 2019. And they are now charging us $50 a ton to process recycling, whereas it used to not cost us anything, and before that, we actually made a little money off it. So I'm here today, per the contract, I have to request an increase from you all, and I wanted to answer any questions that you might have. I also have to, I made an error when I gave the total amount of tons that you guys were doing a month to Mr. Kim. I originally had said you guys were doing 2.26 tons a month of recycling, single stream recycling. That was only 6 months worth of data. For that, I apologize. You guys are actually doing 4.13 tons a month. So that would push the request that we're asking for up to 34 cents a unit, which would come out to $209.10 a month additional to what we're currently charging. There is language in the contract that allows for us to request this. It says it must be properly justified, but it does have to be approved by all y'all. So that's kind of where we stand. I gave you a real short version of what's going on, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might currently have.
So tell me, the 18 cent was incorrect, it's 30.
Yeah, it's
40,
30, yeah, it's 34 cents per unit.
Per unit per month.
Yes, sir. And we based that on 615 units. I think that's what the last count was. So you got 615 times 0.34, which is 209.10 a month increase.
So since we don't have carts, we only have these little carry-around,
You got the 18-gallon bins. Yes, sir.
that's figured on 34 cents per green bin, or?
Yeah, per bin.
So you know that most of the accounts were given at least 2 bins. Some residences have 3 bins.
Yeah.
And then there are very few residences that have a 90-gallon recycling cart.
Yeah. Yes.
Which they pay extra for that.
Yes, they pay extra.
Yes, we need to amend that. That would be per unit, per.
So per account,
Per, yeah.
per utility account.
That is correct.
Is it 34 cents an account or 34 cents?
An account, not per bin, because there are multiple bins that at different addresses that do not cost any more to do.
So was the 615, is that number of accounts or the number of bins? Which one is it?
That's the number of accounts.
So as per the contract, it's got to be, the increase can be asked on the anniversary. How are you justifying coming in 4 months early?
Well, I mean, the way that I read the contract was that you can't do anything before the first anniversary. Once the first anniversary happens, then a request can be made.
So is that a mistake also? It's not 3/1/19, is it 7/10/19?
Yeah, the contract that I'm showing here was the 10th of July, 2017.
So the effective 3/1/19 is also.
34 cent.
No,
Resident.
that's what I requested, but Mr. Kim said that
vacancy fit.
we couldn't do that until you guys either approved or did not approve. So based on what you guys come up with here, it wouldn't be any earlier than 4/1.
I think it's a little premature if they got to the 10th. At least you come back in July and ask. That's my feeling.
You can vote on that, set the date, if you wanted to.
I mean, I'm gonna be real blunt with you. You know, we had a contract with West Industries before, and it didn't go well, and we removed ourselves from that and went with another, supplier.
Yes, sir.
And you guys kind of shifted your way back in, and without choice, we kind of got pulled with you. And for just a few months after, you come in on price increases, I can understand why you justify you won't, but can't say that and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I can't say that my service has improved. In fact, I think it's slacked off a little bit, to be quite honest with you.
I tend to agree.
So I'm having a hard time. As I've been told, I do contract work. I've been told it's cost of doing business. So.
Okay. I appreciate where you're coming from on that. I know we've monitored this account very closely since we took it over. We've gotten pretty positive feedback. Anything that we haven't done well, I think we've taken care of on a very timely basis. I think Mr. Cameron, Ms. Collins might be able to address, how the service has been and since we've taken it over.
When there are problems, we do, send a notice to the, to like Sammy or somebody, and they usually take care of it within 24 hours if they know about it, if we're able to get it to them. But I mean, of course, there are misses and people that are skipped and all, but they usually come when we let them know.
I know that you're here for this request, but I know that Crystal reached out to me last year about CPI indexes, and I haven't heard anything, so that's another thing that I have to prepare for my annual budgets. Is there gonna be a request for that at some point? I know that in a previous contract that we had with you all, it was kind of built in where it was standard, it would go up. Obviously, when I restructured with our previous contractor, I made sure that wasn't included, so that's why that with this contract, any kind of increases are at the sole discretion of the board. Are there any plans for that as well? Because if you're gonna address this as well, I didn't know that because again, it's gonna be a couple months before the new fiscal year starts on July 1. Is there any plans with that as well?
Yes, we're gonna request a CPI based on the contract in July. Again,
But my new budget starts in July, so if I don't know what that CPI is,
Yeah.
or if this board, I can't prepare for those additional costs.
yeah, so we will put something in writing 60 days prior to or I can do that as soon as next week if you wanted to look at that as far as consideration.
And even with the CPI index, that's, again, I had told her as well too, that she has to come before this board to present that as well too.
No, totally understand that, and again, the difference on the CPI is that usually is on the anniversary date of the contract. Again, the way that we read the contract on the processing fee was that it could be any time after the first anniversary. It's-
Remind me of how much longer our contract is with West Industries.
I believe it was a total of 5 years, but I think we're at maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, about 3.5 years left into the contract.
Yeah, this one was entered in 10th of July 2017, so the 9th of July 2022.
What you're July, we're gonna get a raise again.
We're going to request a CPI increase. Again, that is totally up to your discretion whether you grant that or not, just like it's up to your discretion whether you grant this or not.
I think personally, we need to wait and look at what they're gonna do when they send you the next increase. Add this into it and see what it's gonna look like. And we make a
Combine.
decision, combine it and make a decision from there. Second.
Thank you for your time again, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to table this item to next month. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Next item I have on the agenda is consider action to select an ETJ appointment for the Board of Adjustment.
So possibly going to combine the next three items, I, J, and K. We do have some vacancies on several boards here. So for the ETJ appointment for the Board of Adjustment, there are 2 vacancies. For the Planning Board, there are 2 full board vacancies, possibly 2 alternate vacancies if the board recommends moving the current alternates to those full board positions, and then 1 vacancy for the Downtown Development Board. So you have this sheet here listing, even though we have 2 vacancies for the ETJ Board of Adjustment, we do have one applicant there. If the board wishes to, you could move forward with making the nomination to fill one of those 2 vacancies. For the next section, again, we have 2 current alternates and 4 other applicants vying for, again, 2 full member vacancies and 2 alternate positions. I did include in my memo for the Planning Board making a recommendation also with support from the Planning Board to move 2 of the current alternate members to the full board positions on the Planning Board, and then possibly selecting 2 new alternates from the other 4 names on that list. And then on the 3rd section, we have 1 vacancy for a full member on the Downtown Development Board with those 3 names.
Remind me who the vacancies are on the ETJ positions.
On the Board of Adjustment, they were never selected because we made a shift, and so we created 2 ETJ members on the Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
See your sheet for a second. He didn't give me one.
Oh, okay.
If you're asking them to fill this out, okay, so you have ranked high at 6, and by adding the numbers, you can,
Right.
the 2 highest numbers will be your alternates, and
No,
then,
2 highest numbers will be the full board positions, yes.
and the next 2 would be the alternate.
Yes.
Are you asking the board to vote at this time, or just
Well,
take this
well,
and return it?
Before you vote, if, it could change if you want to go ahead and name those 2 current alternates to become the full board positions. Then that would negate the top 2 alternate lists, and you would select 2 new alternates from the bottom 4 names, if you want to proceed that way. But if you want to open it up to everyone, including the alternates for the full board positions, you can. It's your discretion as the board with how you want to proceed with that appointment process.
And both alternates are willing to move into the full board too.
Yes, I have spoken with them, they are. most of the meetings they have come to, most of the meetings, yes. And then in some cases, one of the two have sat on the planning board as, you know, to fill a form, yes, so that has happened.
I'm gonna make a motion that the two alternates get the full-time positions. And then we vote on the other ones for the other four for the two alternate openings.
I have a motion from Commissioner Cone to move the two alternates from the planning board to full member vacancies.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Now, to move the two alternates to the full-time seats on the planning board. If there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Full-time positions are filled.
So that takes them off the ballot.
The top two, you can mark through the top two names that are listed as the current alternates. And then with the remaining four names, you can select two of them for the alternate positions and then rank them from 1 to 4, with 4 being the highest.
Would y'all like to go ahead and take a
And-
moment tonight and go ahead
And then before we take
and do
these
it now?
up, before we take these up, if you want to decide as well too, possibly on the ETJ Board of Adjustment vacancy as well too, since there's only one name there. And then you can possibly decide and vote so that we can take the form up with all the votes for the Downtown Development Board as well too.
So you want we can vote on all three.
Yes.
All four of these applied previously, or is there a new one?
Yes, they had applied previously and we hadn't gotten any new ones. And I did contact them to ask if they were willing to be in the next round of possible appointments, and they did reply with interest. So, ETJ alternate, Georgia Warren has been selected. For the Downtown Development Full Board member, William Willis has been selected. So for the Planning Board, there's a three-way tie with David Robinson, William Willis, and Catherine Zinzig. Again, score them from 1 to 3, with 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest with your rankings.
Now, did you say the two alternates were?
No, you are selecting the 2 alternates out of those 3 names.
Oh, these are the alternates.
Yeah, you will be selecting for the alternates,
But
yes.
who got the downtown development?
William Willis,
William Willis.
yes.
That's the least, is that your third choice? I don't know what. Could we come up
Yes.
with a count?
So for the alternate positions for the planning board, the 2 names are David Robinson and William Willis.
David Robertson and who?
William Willis.
So we are finished with I-Jane Canaan.
Yes.
All right, we're ready to move on. The next item on my agenda is the Chamber of Commerce update.
This should be very brief. Last month, I believe I came and told you that we were planning on opening in March, and here it is in March, and we're not opening.
I was informed a couple of days later that our training classes would not start until March 18th versus February the 25th. So, but it was probably a blessing in disguise because I think we've needed that time. We're also having a business after hours on schedule for March the 18th, which is the day of our first day of class for our people that are going to be working there. And I would like to invite the whole board and the press to be there. That'll be the first time that we open the doors just for a viewing of what it'll be like.
Is that for the license plate agency?
Yes, for the license plate agency. March the 8th. It's on a Monday, March the 18th, and that's at 6 o'clock
PM?
p.m. I can only hope. We'll never get anybody there at 6 a.m.
Anything else for us?
That's got it.
Anybody have any questions for the chamber?
I got one.
Mhm.
Are y'all working on anything else as far as bringing any other business into town?
Not right now, because we have our hands full with this license plate agency. It is taking up a lot of time. Trust me.
Have they rescheduled the ribbon cutting for Millennium? I think I may have already asked that.
We've been throwing it around back and forth, and it's just like rain always seems to be catching up with us. So I'm going to be talking with Tom Morgendroyd again this week and trying to set up something. But
They are operational, correct?
yes, from what I understand, they are. Yeah, because he was saying that we couldn't go inside because of HIPAA violations and stuff. So, and I certainly understand that, and I don't really have any desire to go inside. But and I think he realizes too that because it's not a retail location, that it's going to be a little bit different as far as the opening is going to be. But whenever we do get that, we'll certainly contact the board and let you know, because we would like for y'all to be there if you can.
Do you know how many is employed out there now?
No, I don't. Sure don't.
But the projections are 200 to 300.
I've heard over 300.
Excellent.
Yeah. So with that and the traffic coming from the license plate agency that we hope to see, it should bring an influx of traffic through Spring Oak. So hopefully some of the businesses will benefit from that. I mean, that was the whole purpose behind the license plate agency, is to increase traffic and also hopefully create more of a demand for the locations down on Ash Street.
Before you get away, since you headed up originally, how about the lights going in on the interchange?
They told us that it was going to be, that the work order was placed for this last month.
But I have not heard back from our contact with NCDOT.
Yeah, Richard Whitaker.
I'm sorry, Duke
Duke,
Energy.
yeah,
Duke
Duke.
Energy.
But the work order is in.
That's the email that I got from him.
Yeah,
So.
he sent both of us an email saying that. So I'm sure those 4 lights are a top priority in their scheme of things.
Well, if the work order's been released, at least it.
Yeah, hey, listen, I mean, it's only taken like 10 years, so. We can wait another month if we have to.
That's right.
Does anybody have any more questions for the chamber? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item on my agenda is the town attorney's report.
So I have a report this month.
Next will be in Barley.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try to be as brief as possible tonight with your monthly activity report for the month of February. Under significant meetings, it's 4 issues. One for the gearbox, for the bar screen is in need of replacement. The quote is being reviewed. That quote is a little bit outdated. Anthony Branch is supposed to be obtaining a new quote. So I'm just awaiting that. Items 2 and 3 for the automatic switch gear and generators 1 and 2 for the WWTP. We've got to schedule the availability of a portable generator at the treatment plant to be in place while that work is done. Item four, reviewing the dollars equipment status on all the stations. We're actually in talks with Custom Controls out of Raleigh to come down and review all the dollar equipment statuses. Under operations, the general work order summary, a total of 171 work orders were completed in February. The following is a summary. We read 857 meters the entire town. There were 90 rereads. There were 14 meter turn-ons. There were 26 meter cutoffs, 1 locate, 6 replace or check water meter lids, meters, 1 for checking on a water leak, 5 yard waste pickups. The entire town was scheduled 4 times. 1 individual pickup. There were 10 trash can recycled bins delivered, 6 sewer service line backups, 1 storm drain cleaning, 3 lift station alarm responses, 1 water system flushing, 3 cemetery meetings, cleaning waste pickups, 1 WWTP inspection or repair, and 3 miscellaneous. Under other activities, leaves and limb pickups for the months of March is going to be the 6th, 7th, the 20th, and 21st. And loose leaf pickup went through February 28th, so we're actually into the bag leaf season, where all leaves need to be bagged March through October. Again, under operations for your water, there were 767 bills generated, 860 meters read. There were 90 rereads, 26 shut-offs, 14 turn-ons. Water sold during the billing cycle for the current month was 2.36 million gallons. Previous was 2.7, year-to-date 21.46. There was also 0.39 million gallons used for flushing or either non-billed use. Water produced from your wells was 2.75 million gallons for the current month. Previous was 4.15. Year-to-date was 27.38. And your wastewater flow for the current month was 7.95 million gallons. Previous was 9.26, and the year-to-date is 44.2 million gallons. And there was 2 inches of rain this past month. And on the last page is a visual representation. I know I was asked at last month's meeting to try to get you some visuals comparing your water pumped versus your water sold. And I also added a 3rd line into this, which is your wastewater pumped, to show you that representation. This is for the prior 14 months, so it goes back all of 2018 plus the two current months of the current year. Your black line is your water sold, and you can see that stays pretty normal. And I should point out that the y-axis that is in million gallons, even though it's not up there. But you're pretty current with your how much water you sell, and for the most part, your water pumped remains just a little bit above that line. I'd say anywhere from 1 million to 500,000 gallons more water pumped versus sold. Although there are a couple of spikes in here, and I suspect that may be for customer side leaks that may not be, it's not adjusted off your well readings, but you're adjusting it off customer bills. And I suspect that's probably where some of these spikes is coming into play. But your sewer, I'd be more concerned with your sewer, because there are some rather large spikes on your sewer. Especially for the month of April last year, February last year, and especially January of this year. There's a very, very large spike for last month, for January. And I'm gonna look into this just to make sure there's no discrepancy in the readings on the flow meter at the treatment plant. We try to eliminate that first. But like I said, you know, it started going up in November of last year, well, really October, all the way to the present, and we all know how wet it's been. We all know how much rain we've had. So, like I said, January is the highest month out of the 14 months, by far. So when the weather turns a little bit drier, I'm gonna try to get some smoke testing lined up. And I'll try to coordinate that with Jay so we can put out some notices to try to find some of your I&I so we can start working towards a solution to some of this I&I you're experiencing. Well, I hope that visual representation helps when it comes to how much water you're pumping out of your wells versus how much you're selling. I really wouldn't be as concerned with that as your I&I on your wastewater. Any questions?
Do you have any questions for Brian?
Okay, thank you all.
Now, I know Jay and I talked with Gregory Poole, and when you're doing the transfer switch on the old one, we made arrangements with them. Unless you come up with a better price, Gregory Poole will deliver a generator to the site and leave it there with cables and all, and come back and pick it up and return it to Raleigh for, he tells us $400.
$400.
I mean, he came up with a really good price. They have an employee that lives in the area, and he's just gonna drive it home at the end of the day, or tow it and drop it, and then he'll take it back the day after, so I mean.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, I don't believe we'd be able to find a better price than $400. But I'll run that by somebody and just get back to you and let you know. All right, I appreciate it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for you. Is it anybody else that's responsible for picking up the trash, besides environment? Are they the ones that pick up our garbage here?
They pick up leaf and limbs.
Okay.
Are you talking about your trash cans, your recyclables?
No, I wanted to know why the trash, the big ugly trash never gets picked up on the end of Ash Street. That's like, right outside the road.
Is it loose
Below-
trash
below-
somebody's put out?
It's the whole from Little Jay's place all the way going down. It's just a lot of trash and garbage on Ash Street.
It's not garbage. Like, where the house burned down.
Like
And then
demolition
there's,
waste.
There's some carpeting on there. These are things that Waste Industries won't pick it up, and the homeowner has to have to move them, and we're sending letters.
Okay, the homeowner has to get it
Yes,
up?
ma'am. Yes,
They've been notified already?
Yes,
Oh.
they know they have to.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like that TV that's out there, you can't, Waste Industries doesn't pick any of that kind of thing up.
Okay.
And the people that put it out there have been told that they have to move it themselves.
Okay, thank you, 'cause that street looks bad.
It does, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Next item on my agenda is the police chief's report.
Good evening. On February 3rd, we had the DWI, Officer Wilson initiated a vehicle stop for regulatory violation. We formed the opinion that the driver, Benjamin Crawley of Macedonia Road, Spring Hope, was intoxicated, and Crawley was arrested and held under a $500 secured bond. On February the 5th, Officer Walton and Officer Bell were conducting a license checking station when Ryan Boos of Nashville refused to present any identification, sped away. A short pursuit was initiated. It was about 2.5 miles. Pursuit came to an end just outside of town when Mr. Boos pulled over off the roadway. Probable cause search of the vehicle revealed 26 grams of marijuana, cocaine, prescription drugs, and 2 handguns. Boos was charged with speeding and list of criminal offenses, which is felony speed to elude arrest, possession of cocaine, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon twice, RDO, and possession of intent to sell delivered marijuana along with speeding and no operator's license. On February 13th, Joshua White of Old Franklin Road, Spring Hope, was arrested. Actually, it's February 15th. Officers Wilson and Radford initiated a vehicle stop for regulatory violation. Located a small amount of marijuana package to sell, set of digital scales, and a concealed handgun. He was held under $10,000 secured bond. The only other thing I have is Lieutenant Proctor mentored a juvenile through the North Carolina Tar Heel Challenge Academy. This academy is designed as an intervention and reclamation for 16 to 18-year-old undisciplined juveniles. The juvenile he mentored was a local resident here from town, and a blood drive was held in conjunction with the Spring Hope Fire Department. That's it.
Does anybody have any questions for the police chief this evening? Thank you. Next item on my agenda is the manager's report.
The 2019 NC Main Street Conference is coming up. Again, it's a 3-day annual conference held in rotating communities. Again, the conference is open to those interested in learning about downtown economic development. And for this year, we have several people attending the conference representing the Downtown Development Board, and the Chamber of Commerce. For the land use plan update, the planning board is currently reviewing a drafted land use plan survey. Again, we're looking to possibly launch a link from the town's website for the survey, and again, we're finding other ways of getting, disseminating that survey out to the community. There has been a draft timeline created by the COG, and again, we're possibly looking at a community forum to be held in May. It's to be determined yet on a specific date and time, and then possibly with a final adoption of the land use plan by the Board of Commissioners in December. And for our Downtown Development Board update, the Downtown Development Board is finalizing a business and consumer survey. We're again looking at several avenues of disseminating those two surveys as well too. And again, the results will be analyzed with the assistance of NC Main Street. Charles also from NC Main Street is working with our current Downtown Development Board. And again, the main focus for the next couple of months are going to be strategies and goals for the Downtown Development Group, North Carolina Main Street Group. And that's it.
All right. My last item on my agenda is other business, and I'll start with Commissioner Tucker. Do you have anything this evening?
The only thing I have is I met with the Spring Hope Fire Department last week for their meeting. The only thing to report from there is they are in the process of updating their SOPs and the bylaws for the fire department. And there will be another meeting next month that I will be attending.
Commissioner Kane?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Griffin?
No, sir.
Commissioner Lucas?
No.
Commissioner Walker?
Definitely.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn the March meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn the March meeting.
Second. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.